resources that I won't have time to go through them today. So I think when you go back to your own country and you're focusing on a particular part of the initiative, then please know that the slides are a really good resource. And this is something that we do with schools. So when schools are interested in working towards the active flag and finding out more, they come to an information evening, and you can only do so much in the information evening. So we always have a PowerPoint slide. Like, we always have more slides than we need for the workshops. But the idea is that those slides are a really large resource for teachers when they go back to their school, and they can use it as they want. So just to say that anything that I'm not covering, hopefully, will be in the PowerPoint slides. And I think just to allow you to sip on your coffee and take a bit of a breath, I'm going to start with a video. It's a very short video, and as part of European Week of Sport, there is an education award. And 2 years ago was the first year that the Be Active Education Award was in place, I guess. And 2 out of the 3 schools from Europe chosen as finalists were Irish schools, and we won. Woo! And I'm hoping to do so again this year. But this is the video that the EU did from a school in Cavan, a small school up towards Northern Ireland. But the really good thing is that it has subtitles. So I thought, just until you get used to my voice and the English, that maybe this will be a good one to start with.
We had a general school-wide concern regarding obesity levels among our pupils, and we really noticed a decrease in physical activity.
It was just not active though.
And when information came into the school then on the Active School Flag initiative, it seemed like the ideal means to address the concerns that we had.
We started off with a kind of a blank canvas, and through the establishment of an active school committee and the involvement of staff and parents, we now are 18 months to 2 years into the process, and we have saw huge benefits to the school.
It's more fitness and fun. Instead of just standing around doing homework, you don't bother to clean half of the day. You're all ready.
We have our free dance Fridays, we have our walk to school on Wednesdays, we have a go noodle in the classroom, we have an element of active transition between one lesson to the other. So these are all things that, you know, we have integrated into the school day as part of the active programme.
It's about creating new habits as well, so that when the children are used to getting up, getting active, that maybe this will form a new habit for them, so that when they go home, they'll maybe have that sort of little itch to get up and get run around rather than sitting down. It's very important, because nowadays, with all the mobile phones and PlayStations and everything else, if the child's just left at home and sit, all they want to do is play.
It has brought the whole community together, and it's a great initiative for your school and for any school to partake in, to promote team spirit and togetherness, and also something that's very, very worthwhile and beneficial in the promotion of physical activity for our young people and our children, which is what the whole process is about.
There's nothing better than seeing kids out playing and out in fresh air and out doing good things outside instead of sitting around the house.
Parents are involved, so if you're ever going on a walk with the school, your parents can come in and do it too, and it's just better.
By being more physical active, they have improved their physical attainment, but also their academic attainment, because I suppose they're more in tune with what's happening in the classroom, they're more alert, they're more eager.
Their cognition has also been enhanced through the addition of physical activity.
Our vision for the future is that that just continues, that we can continue to do that, to build on that, to increase those fitness levels, so that the children are, at the end of the day, leaving the school happier and happier and fitter.
Instead of just playing a tablet or a DS or a laptop, why not go outside and
find are really, really important aspects of the active flag have come up in the different things that the principals and the parents and the teachers have said. And these are our facts, and you know, I don't generally like to spend too long on this slide because this is the bad news story. You know, this is the story that our kids are inactive and they're overweight, and like the media are really, really happy to put that out there. So we know that. So I think what I like to concentrate on is the positive things, and there are a huge number of positive things happening in Irish primary schools. And to be honest, it's not things that we designed, it's things that teachers showed us are possible. And I think today is a great celebration that your interest being here is nothing to do with me really, it's to do with all the teachers in the jam-packed school day with not the best resources in the world or the best weather, having designed things that are getting children more active minutes each day. And that's what it's about. This is key to the way we convince teachers to engage with the program. So this message, I think, is becoming really well understood by primary school teachers. And primary school teachers in Ireland will teach children between 4 and 12 years old. So that's the focus of the initiative that we're talking about today and that you will see in schools tomorrow, because we need a completely different model and we're working on it for the children that are 12 to 18. So the research will tell us that active children are better learners. And before I came here this morning, I listened to a TED talk for some reason. It was about physical activity in schools, and the person speaking was talking about all the physiological and chemical changes that happen in the brain after physical activity, but his key message was schools need to wake up the brains for children to learn, and the best way to wake up brains is with a little bit of physical activity. So this slide we share with all teachers that come to the presentations, and we encourage them to share it with their colleagues. And really, if you're teaching in Ireland, you have 30 children in front of you, and you know there are a lot of demands on the classroom teacher, and there isn't a lot of free minutes in the day. So for you to change what you're doing, or to give some of those precious minutes to physical activity breaks, there has to be a reason. And I think the reason, the research papers will say it, but now teachers practically can see it, and the teachers and the schools are talking to one another, and it's becoming easier to convince teachers that this isn't an imposition, this is an essential part of the day, because so many minutes in the school day are lost when their focus is gone or their attention is gone, and a lot of children are unhappy in school for a lot of minutes of the school day. So this is key to how we try to achieve whole school engagement with the process. And again, this is another key slide. So when we give our presentations or our workshops, the lead teacher will come to the presentation. So they are the enthusiastic teacher, and we don't have to convince that teacher that it's a good idea, the active flag, but we have to show them the ways that they can encourage their colleagues to achieve the same mindset. And that's why this slide is super important, because those 80% of children, if you have a class of 30 in front of you, 24 of those are inactive. Some are overweight, so you can guess it. Others have no extra weight, but it still doesn't, the statistics show that 80% of our children don't have enough active minutes. So this is really key about the active flag, and it needs to be a process of whole school engagement. And really, that's the most difficult part of the process, for a school to get everybody on board. And I think we are achieving that, and we are achieving it partly because schools understand better the connection between physical activity, concentration and focus. And if the children have better concentration and focus, they have better attention, they have better behaviour, they're happier, and all of those things make the school day a more productive day for the teacher teaching, and a much easier day for the teacher, to be honest, to deal with everything else. So we need to find in that full up school day ways to energise it. so that more children can get more active minutes each day. And I don't think schools can provide 60 minutes of active minutes every day for every child. The space isn't there. But even if the children are going home with 12 active minutes on a Monday, and maybe 14 on a Tuesday, and maybe 6 on a Wednesday, if we change our mindset, more children will get more active minutes. So it's little small wins, and this is really how we talk to schools when we're encouraging them to engage with the process. The parts of the school day where the maximum potential exists, I guess, are the active playgrounds. Now, each of those sections are hyperlinked to a video or to a resource that I won't open today, but the playgrounds is one obvious place where you can get the children more active. So there's a big difference between saying, putting children out to a playground where there's nothing to do, or putting children out to a playground where 10% of the children play football and take up all the space and everybody else is pushed to the side, versus a school that says, well, this is the football area, this is the chasing area, this is the basketball area, this is the music and dance area. So what we need to try and do is get schools to look outside of their playgrounds and to focus, it's probably the next slide, to focus on finding ways to encourage the less active children to enjoy physical activity more. And I think that's another key part of the active flag. Like, children will only do what they enjoy, and currently they really, really enjoy phones and tablets and technology. It's really, really attractive to them. So the only way that we can get children to engage in physical activity is to make it an enjoyable activity for them to do. So always the focus must be, I think, on fun. And there's lots of different ways, all hyperlinked. So every single section there will have a link to a video or to a resource, and they're making it easier for schools to do. So the playgrounds is one place. A key part of the active school flag initiative, and one of the success criteria, and I'll talk about them later, is that children engage in a non-competitive running initiative that lasts a number of weeks. So you're teaching children to run in a non-competitive way. So to run in a social, recreational, enjoyable way, and we've lots of different initiatives that allow schools to do that quite easily. So the running is another key part of the initiative. Throughout the busy school year, there are down days. So there's the day before the Christmas holidays, when oftentimes, I don't know what it's like in your countries, but oftentimes that's when the video goes on and the sweets come out and the children have a party, So, but that's fine, because, it's a down day. But perhaps if we have the active school mindset, perhaps the video, rather than sitting down and watching a video, can be a Go Noodle video or a Just Dance video, and it has the children up and moving to a video. And perhaps rather than the party, they can do something that's really quirky and fun, in particular if the teachers join in, and do some running with their Santa hats on, or have a Rudolph relay, or have a fancy dress disco. And again, we have loads and loads of ideas because schools tell us what they're doing at Halloween and at Christmas and at Easter. So we don't need to invent them, we just need to share them out. And then the last one is cross-curricular. And again, if we think differently about things, then there's a lot of opportunities to get the children out of their seats and moving more. And so say, for example, yesterday on Twitter, a school tweeted out that they were doing number lines. So it's just like senior infants, 5-year-olds, doing a number line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to learn their numbers. But they brought them out to the playground with some chalk, and they did their number lines in the playground. So, it may not be active minutes, but it has them out of their seats. So it's lessening the sedentary time as well. So I think what we're trying to do with the active flag is to find ways to have children sitting less, okay? Because you're twitchy now. You're going to be very twitchy in 10 minutes from sitting down. It's hard to sit. And really what we do is we train children into sitting for very long periods of time. So before they come to school, they never sit. You know, they just don't. And then we train them into sitting. And we need to, it's not their natural way. So we do need to try and find, not at the expense of the subjects we're teaching, but to the benefit of the subjects that we're teaching, to find ways to allow children to sit less and to move more. And really, that's about teachers thinking about the school day differently, as opposed to us giving everybody 1 to 10, these are the things you do. Because you don't know what you're going to do until the opportunity arises. Is this making sense? Am I speaking okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now, this is one of the things that Irish school kids love, and I don't know, for our international visitors, are you familiar with Go Noodle? Anybody? Okay, a little bit. Okay, so Go Noodle is an American website that's designed for classrooms to get children up and moving in the classrooms. It's non-commercial. The content and the language and the music is very suitable to children. So it's age appropriate and school appropriate, and it's free. So I would say that about 99% of Irish schools use this in order to break up the day. So when they see the children getting restless because they're tired, or when they see them a little bit hyperactive, or when they've done some really good hard work, they will put it on for enjoyment. So I remember listening to a lecture by one of the PE professionals in Mary I, and it was about the joy of movement. And the point that she made in the video was that when children come down a slide, they run around and go back up the top to come down again. So children have a real natural connection with physical activity, and they enjoy physical activity, and that slowly disappears. And this is Go Noodle is one of the things that children love. And in every school that you visit tomorrow, they're going to do Go Noodle. So when I sit in a group and the presenter up the front says, okay, we're having an active break now, everybody up, and everybody's faces is going, oh no, I'm going to be the presenter saying, okay, we need to get up. I'm going to put on a Go Noodle, and I'm putting it on not so much to give you an active break because you've just had a walk around break, but you're going to see the children do it tomorrow. So we're going to Go Noodle. So let's go. I'm brave. And the joy of it is that everybody faces this way and nobody looks at each other. You can choose to be the man on the left or on the right. But more active. Okay, so we're copying them. Let's go.
Get your body, both moving. Get your body, both moving.
The deal was no photos. With hand actions. 6-minute video. Okay, we might do that. Now, Irish schools use that on a regular basis. Okay, regularly. It's free, it's age, it's school appropriate. and there's hundreds and hundreds of videos. So I remember last year when, if there's a new, I don't know, they just have videos to calm you down and videos to kind of raise up the energy levels. These are two characters that Irish kids particularly like, but then there's another Professor Movitt and there's Professor Marino. There's different characters, and the younger children, what they do is you get a character. When you sign up for free, you get a character, and the more times your school exercises, you get additional features for your character. So it's designed for the American school system, but it's free to school systems everywhere, and schools will use it. So there's a couple of interesting things about that. That requires no skill whatsoever. So regardless of who you are as a teacher. What you said? Okay, if you're a teacher, it requires no skill. So you don't have to make up a dance. You don't have to come up with some music. You literally go to the whiteboard, press play, and what's really interesting is, I met a teacher recently and she said, when I did Go Noodle, I used to do 1 or 2 corrections to get them done. And she said, I don't do it now, I do the Go Noodle because I need the break in my head as much as the children. So it's really interesting the way that Irish schools and Irish teachers are really working with this. As mentioned an awful lot of times, our weather isn't great. So if children cannot get outdoors to play, then part of the active flag is that you have school policy that if the children do not play outdoors, that they have an extended classroom break on return. So Go Noodle is our most popular one. We have an Irish grown version, and there's 15 videos in it, and it was partly through Healthy Ireland funding, the 10 at 10, and again when you click on that, it will open the 10 at 10 videos. Cosmic Kids is free, school and age appropriate, and it's a yoga resource, which is really good. They have kind of 10 to 15 minute yoga videos with fantastic background and graphics. And then the last one is a rainy break one, where a school made up its own exercises, so the children in 5th class